The Sixers lose again, this time versus the New York Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back. And surprise, surprise, Joel Embiid did not play because of that left foot sprain that he is dealing with. This is now his sixth straight game missed. And it's time for us to have some very tough conversations surrounding Joel Embiid. But we're going to get into all that. Without further ado, here's the intro. What's going on, Cliffhangers? We are back with another video. We are still on the road to 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. So make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button down below. Greatly appreciate it. Also, become a part of the Noti Gang. Hit that bell notification down below so you never miss a video. Get me to 100 likes on this video. Join Discord, and the link is in that description below. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so like I said, the Sixers lose another game, this time versus the New York Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back. Everybody expected Joel Embiid to play because it was a national TV game versus the Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back. He didn't play versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, so you're expecting Joel Embiid to play. Guess what? He didn't play. This is now his sixth straight game that he missed. He suffered a left foot sprain. Nobody knows when it happened. We're all speculating that it happened when he fell over the cameraman on Christmas Day in that Boston Celtics game, but like he played, I think, like 3 or 4 more games after that, but the foot sprain got re-aggravated. So everybody's just trying to figure out when it happened. Nobody knows. But the bigger issue is he's just missing another game. This is now the 6th straight game. He's almost missed 2 weeks of basketball after playing 2 straight weeks. And like I said it in videos before, we've talked about it prior to this. If he can't play 2 weeks of regular season basketball, how do you expect him to play 2 months of high-intensity playoff basketball in the NBA? I just don't see it happening. So we're going to have a very tough conversation today in this video about Joel Embiid, and I know a lot of people might not want to hear it, or there's a lot of people that are coming around to the idea of what I'm going to say. Y'all, I need y'all to just bear with me. I know I've said it before, but this time I'm dead serious. Like, it's just the best path moving forward. But the Sixers have to go into this offseason. I know I've speculated it before, right? And I say, they got to think about it. But the Sixers have to go into this offseason and look into trading Joel Embiid. They also had to look into trading Paul George. I know you just signed him to a 4-year extension. You just gave Embiid, I know you just signed Paul George to the 4-year max. I know you just gave Embiid the extension. But for your franchise, he's doing more harm going forward and moving towards the future than he is doing good. Because I look at it this way. He can't play. He plays 2 weeks or a week and a half, and then he's out for like a month and is doing more harm than good with so much expectations coming into this season. Everything has been terrible, and it all stems from Joel Embiid. This is now his 4th different injury this season. He's only played in 13 games. I think he's missed like 25. And it's just like, I said it before, when is enough enough? Like, he's an injury-prone 7'2" center, 30 years old, a bunch of lower body injuries, first the knee, now the foot. There's been both knees in the past. Like, you shouldn't have to put your fans through this continuously. And I'm not saying like Joel is a bad player at all. He is one of the greatest Sixers ever. He is probably the greatest Sixer ever. I'm a big AI fan, so I'm not going to put him over AI, but like to other people, he is probably the best Sixer ever. I'm not taking the talent away from him. The problem is he just doesn't play. And I know this season has been like the most he hasn't played, right? I get that. I know like he doesn't play. He does play a lot of games, but like he's often injured. Like, I get that. This season has been sort of an anomaly, but like, you keep trying to depend on Joel Embiid to be healthy, and it hasn't happened one time. Like, how can you depend on you're supposed to depend on your superstar. He is supposed to be the one that takes you over the hump, that puts everybody on his back continuously in the playoffs. And you say, if I don't have anybody, I have Joel Embiid, or I have my superstar. You never have him. And when you do have him, especially during those playoff runs, he's at like a max of 70%. So how can you continue to depend on him moving forward at the age of 30, knowing it's going to get worse before it gets better? And I just need everybody to understand that, and the realization that I'm coming to. It's going to be hard. And I said this on Twitter the other day. A lot of fans became Sixers fans during the process, during the Joel Embiid era. And like, this is all they know. Like, as opposed to me and like other people who are fans of Dr. J, they've been Sixers fans since Dr. J. I've been a Sixers fan since Allen Iverson. He's the one who got me into basketball. He got a lot of people into basketball in general. So I was there when they traded AI. It was the worst. It was the worst pain that I could ever feel, because like, to me, I grew up with him. I know who he is. This is all Sixers basketball. This is all I know. Right? It's Allen Iverson. So when they traded him, like, it hurt, and I didn't understand why. I'm like, oh, the organization is terrible, which they probably are. But at the end of the day, I eventually came around to, all right, this is just it was the end of an era. Like, as I grew up and I look back at that time, it was just time for Iverson to go. And I need everybody who is a Joel Embiid fan, who became Sixers fans during this process era, like, all you know is a Joel Embiid Sixers team. It's time. It's just the end. It's the end of an era. Like, thank you for the memories, Joel. Thank you for like the fun times, like as a Sixers as a Sixers player. But like, it's time to move forward and step into another era of Sixers basketball. And it's not. I know a lot of people are like, well, if you get rid of Joel Embiid, you're not going to be able to be competitive. They're not going to be able to win games. You're right. They're not. There's going to be some very tough years coming up. All right. Now, the difference between this and like the Iverson years, and remember, I was there for the Iverson years. I was there post Iverson, before the process, during the process, after the process. Like, I was there for it all. So I know the pain. I know what's going to happen. I know what it's going to take I know what it's going to take to rebuild this organization. I know that it's going to be some tough road. Everybody is expecting, like, these 23, 25-year-olds are like, they're not going to be able to compete without Joel Embiid. You're exactly right. But they have to start over from top to bottom. The organization has to change. Like, they have to build a different culture. They have to get some new higher ups. Like, Josh Harris has to sell the team. Like, there's a bunch of things that need to happen, but there are going to be some dark times coming up once Joel Embiid is off the Sixers. And it's not like he's at the height of his powers, Joel Embiid. Like, he is on the decline now. So I even said they should have traded him after the Boston series for plenty of different reasons I'm just not going to get into. But there is going to be some very dark times, but this is the end of you. You have to know when to move away from something, right? You're doing your fans harm. You're doing the team harm, because the longer Joel is here and he's not playing, you're always going to have the expectation of making a deep playoff run. But that also hinders you from getting great young talent in drafts like the one coming up, which there's a bunch of great talent that you can pretty much pick from if you decide to go the tanking route, right? But when you always have a Joel Embiid, you're always going to be like, all right, well, we have to build this team around him, even though he doesn't play. And you're just going to continuously end up like a 4 to 8 seed with you're just going to be in the middle. You're never going to be really expected to win a championship, but you're always going to have it in the back of your mind like he's Joel Embiid, so maybe it could happen. It's just doing more harm than it's doing good at this point. With this season already over, if you don't think that this season is over, bless you. But the season is over. They're not going to be able to overcome this, especially if you're expecting Joel to play more games than he has right now, right? And I think they're actually gearing up to sit him out for the remainder of the season. But it's just, I just wanted to let everyone know it's time. It's over. It's an end of an era. The process was some great years. It's not about the way the process ended, the Joel Embiid getting traded. It's about the friends that we made along the way, right? Whatever. But like, it's over. Joel was a great talent. He still is a great talent. The arching problem with him is just going to continue. It has continued in travel with him throughout his entire basketball career is the injuries. And he might finish his career just never being out the second round. Honestly, if you want to frame it this way, this might be best for both parties to part ways. The Sixers are in the middle of a season where they still have the ability to tank and get a top 6 pick. You still have a future to look forward to. You still have Tyrese Maxey. You still have Jared McCain. Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier. My bad. I got off track. But I was there for the Allen Iverson years, right? And there was nothing to look forward to after those Allen Iverson years. You didn't have a Tyrese Maxey. You didn't have a Jared McCain. You didn't have these young stars or just young good players like Justin Edwards, for example, coming up to look forward to watch and build something off of. You didn't have that when Iverson was going. You had like what? Andre Iguodala, but everybody knew he wasn't the number 1 or even a number 2, not even the number 3. But that's what you had. You don't have that now. You have something that you can build off of and move forward while everyone's still young. So you could take solace in that and like just think about it. Okay, there's something here that we can build off of. After that Iverson trade, there was nothing. We had no idea which way the organization was going. But like I was saying, it's in the best. Like I was saying, it's in the best interest for both parties to part ways, because maybe you can send Joel to a team where he has that chance to get out of the second round, and you're not that other team that you send him to. They're not going to be just so dependent on Joel Embiid, which gives him time to rest, gives him time to heal. He doesn't have to do so much on the basketball court and physically carry a team to a deep playoff run. And you give the Sixers a opportunity to reshape this franchise and reshape this organization, surrounded by Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, young good players like Justin Edwards. You draft some guy. I'm not saying build a team and make Tyrese Maxey the franchise player. I'm not saying that because I don't think that Tyrese Maxey is a franchise player. I don't think he's a number 1. He's probably a number 2, number 3. So I'm saying you have something there that you can start to build something off of. Maybe you get a number 1 in the draft. Maybe you're able to trade for a younger number 1, depending on what type of picks you get. It's going to be tough, but there's something there. All right. And it's in the best interest for both parties to just move forward while there is still time left. The worst possible outcome is they drag this out where there's no time. Tyrese Maxey is now 27, 28. He's still teetering on that. Like, he's still young, but he's almost 30. Then you don't want to go into a rebuild with a 28-year-old Tyrese Maxey in his prime. Like, there's just a lot of moving parts here. But I just think, like, it's just time to move on from Joel Embiid. It's not because he's a bad player. I just think this is just what's best for the organization right now. But let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Should the Sixers get rid of Joel Embiid? Should they trade him? Should they look toward the future? Also had this thought, like, if you do start the rebuild now, right? You should have a team that can at least compete, at least get into the playoffs by the time the new arena is built. So this it looks good for everyone. Like, you have a team to showcase by the time that new arena gets built. You're not like in a complete rebuild. You can draw in fans, and you get that off of the Joel Embiid trade. You send Joel somewhere where he could still compete at a pretty high level. Hopefully his knees don't burn down on him. But like, it's a win-win for both organizations. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Should they trade Joel Embiid? Is this an end of an era? Should the Sixers tank? Let me know what you think. Make sure I hit that like and subscribe button down below.